Good day, everyone. My name is Yrrol Flor from BSEE1B, and today I'm gonna teach you about Filipino scientists and answering the questions of what are their contributions in the field of science and what made them pursue a career in science. Our first Filipino scientist is Isa Mihino. Isa Mihino from Lipa in the Philippines is a professor of engineering at De La Salle University together with her brother Ralph. She co-founded Sustainable Alternative Lighting or SALT, a social enterprise that is developing an LED lamp that runs on just table salt and water. She summarizes her invention as an electrochemical LED lamp with salt water as an electrolyte that can charge low-power mobile devices. What made Isa Mejino pursue a career in science is anchored to her personal life experience of living among the tribes in the mountains with no more than the sun and fuel-based lamps as the main source of lighting. She was proud of it as a product of her research on the electrochemical LED lamp that they are working to mass produce right now. Our second Filipino scientist is Mahar Lagmay. Dr. Mahar Lagmay, a professor at the National Institute of Geological Sciences, the University of the Philippines, Diliman, is the executive director of Project NOAA, Nationwide Operational Assessment Hazards, a flagship program for disaster risk reduction and management by the Department of Science and Technology. Project NOAA is an early warning system for natural hazard, for example, typhoons, tsunamis, and earthquakes, providing at least 6 hours lead time against impending floods to vulnerable communities. What made him pursue a career in science is through his efforts to seek to advance global knowledge on natural hazards to empower communities with planning tools that reduce disaster risk. The Philippines is one of the countries prone to natural calamities, and he sees that it would be gainful if there's something such as his program that would educate and train the Filipinos regarding hazards and risks within the community. He labored to do the best in whatever comes way and wait, with some influence of friends and in the environment he grew in life unfolded into what it is. The third Filipino scientist is Alfredo Villa Garcia Lagmay. With his Harvard training under Dr. B.F. Skinner, Dr. Lagmay greatly influenced the development of scientific psychology in the Philippines. He introduced behavioral studies in psychology and published numerous researches on experimental analysis of behavior modification, relaxation and related states, and hypnosis. For his numerous contributions to the Philippine scientific community, Dr. Lagmay has appropriately conferred the National Scientist Award in 1988, the highest award given to Filipino scientists. Dr. Lagmay was also a recognized institution builder. From a small department of some 5 faculty members then squatting in the College of Education, he built the UP Department of Psychology into its present respectable status, with over 30 faculty and 500 students enrolled in undergraduate and graduate courses. He was department chair for 22 years between 1955 and 1977. Dr. Lagmay was also the founding father of the Psychological Association of the Philippines, or PAP. Established in 1962, PAP now represents 8 major areas in the practice of psychology in the Philippines and continues to promote psychology as a scientifically oriented discipline. What made him pursue a career in science, since originally he desired to take up medicine to heal and assuage pain, but due to lack of resources constrained to him, he took up psychology instead. As an inference, he does have the guts to aid on people's needs, especially with regards to one's well-being. The fourth Filipino scientist is Julian A. Barzon. Julian A. Barzon was born on March 25, 1908 in Balanga, Bataan. He was the son of Manuel S. Banzon and Arcadia Arca Dr. Banzon. Was outstanding scientist, scholar, professor, and biophysical chemist. In 1956, he received the ICA Type A grant for his study on the use of radioisotopes in agriculture. Renowned in the field of chemistry, he gained recognition for his notable researches on the Philippine coconut and other indigenous materials as renewable sources of chemicals and fuels. He pioneered in the study not just of the coconut but also of the sugarcane in the Philippines and produced the first authoritative work on the derivation of fuels, specifically ethyl esters. From these two crops, moreover, he developed new and scientific methods, such as the chemical extraction of surplus coconut oil in place of the more commonly used physical process. He was awarded a Certificate of Merit for outstanding research work on extraction of coconut oil on July 14, 1959. In July 1986, he was conferred the title of National Scientist by President Corazon Aquino for his outstanding contribution in the field of chemistry in the Philippines. It was a tribute he had long deserved. What made him pursue a career in science are his endeavors to work in the field of agriculture and chemistry. He was an instructor and leader of some organization which will grant him the knowledge he investigated and at the same time obtaining the welfare to the society. The last Filipino scientist that I will discuss today is academician Gavino Citrono Jr. He was recognized for his outstanding contribution in the field of tropical marine phycology with a focus on seaweed biodiversity, biology, ecology, and culture. He is credited for his extensive studies on the culture of Euchema denticulatum, Capaficus alvarezi, Gracilaria spp, Caulerpa lentilifera, and Haliminia dorvili, seaweed that benefited thousands among the coastal population. He was the first to report the occurrence of ice disease, which has caused tremendous loss of biomass in seaweed farms. He published papers on the open water and pond cultures of Gracilaria, pond and lagoon culture of Caulerpa lentilifera, and culture and management of stock of sargassum. He led a team in a field survey and assessment of coastal areas in Western Mindanao, which identified sites in Sakol Island in Zamboanga and Tapaan Island in Siasi, Sulu, where the commercial seaweed farms were established in 1972. What made him pursue a career in science was his dedication to science and strong advocacy on his study about the culture of seaweeds as the most environmentally friendly and productive livelihood for fisher folks. He had valued his work for the Filipino people since the Philippines is an archipelago and the fishery is one of the livelihoods among people. That's all, thank you, and I hope that you have learned something.